Join them, first manager Chris Search, following a 1-1 draw on our first midweek game of the season here against Dulwich Hamlet. Search, you just give us your thoughts and reflections on that one.
Over the moon, mate, to be honest. What the boys have had to go through, I keep saying, everyone's aware of it now, but the injuries we've got and the players missing and whatever else, like to be on 7 points after 3 games is brilliant, and tonight against a really strong Dulwich side, you know what they've got about them, big club, big side, big budget, big players, and first half I think they obviously, I felt they had the better play, and I felt second half we grew into the game and had some real good opportunities ourselves, so would have taken a point before the game, ideally a 0-0, but a score draw was good, I guess, for the fans. So yeah, I'm really happy. Yeah,
well, I'm certainly happy I actually saw a goal this evening rather than a 0-0. Obviously, first half we certainly started, I think, on the stronger foot. I think Teddy hit the bar, we deflected shot, we looked dangerous down the flanks. Was that the aim this evening, to get down the flanks and whip balls in?
Yeah, I'm not sure about the aim. I think the aim was to make sure that we could put out a competitive team, at the start. I mean, we've got players, we've got Lana and Lewis, obviously 2 wingers really playing at wing back. We've got Tozan, a full back, playing at centre half. Missing, as I say, missing a couple. So it was a case of trying to put players into a position that they're sort of semi-familiar with, really. And then obviously then trying to add a game plan to that. It's worked for us well on Saturday. We knew it was going to be a different proposition today. We knew Millsy, or felt Millsy was going to start today, which was a big handful for them. Lots of diagonal balls and lots of first contacts from him, and it was just a case of us trying to lock in for the seconds and pick and choose our battles against him. So, yeah, I'm over the moon for the group. They've really worked hard. Run themselves into the ground. Can't fault anyone's effort and application.
You touched on Danny Mills there. Obviously, he's their main focal point, their main threat really going forward, and it felt like they really set up to get the ball long to him. He was sitting on Tosan's shoulder for the majority of the first half hour, and so Toast and Danny Mills, height-wise, don't really compare. And how pleased were you with how Toast, dealt with him, and really how the whole, back line kept Danny Mills quiet this evening?
I mean, I thought it was fantastic. Toast, was obviously their ploy to try and isolate him, which was, tactically astute on them, and credit to them for that. But, Tozan, I think the first one he went up, he made it awkward, and sometimes that's all you can do. You're not going to win every header, especially against Millsy, so you just got to pick and choose your battles, make it a little bit awkward here and there, a couple of nudges and whatever else you've got to do to get away with things. And yeah, I thought the boys really stood up to be counted today. The back line, Melvin, great save. Unfortunately, he didn't have anyone helping him to help him out with the rebound. We look back at the goal, I think it could have been defended better in terms of us taking runners from midfield, which was always going to be the danger today. They have people running in behind on left, right and centre, so that was going to be our issue, and unfortunately, the rebound, they had a guy following up and got the tap in.
Obviously, we've touched before on the young lads starting, and obviously Ben and obviously Carter featuring today. Obviously Ben, pretty much a second full 90 minutes in a row. I know he went down with cramp, didn't he, towards the end on Saturday. I can't remember if he got subbed off or not, but he must be impressed with him. I know when we spoke at the end of last season, we said Ben was maybe a few weeks behind the likes of Hernandez and stuff like that in terms of this level of football, but talking to people behind the goal, he seems to have settled in pretty well, really being chucked into the deep end today and Saturday.
I think it comes that we didn't have much choice. Ben's obviously been around the group for a couple of years now. Carter as well, as you mentioned, he's come in a bit more this year. Two good prospects, but I thought Ben was excellent today. It's obviously I'm his biggest critic, and rightly so, and obviously I'm going to be judged as that. But I think out there in the National League, he more than held his own. He worked hard, and the stats will prove that, I'm sure, tomorrow when we download them. But no, I'm delighted for them, and obviously Carter coming on as well, shored things up when Blanche just had a booking and looking a little bit tired. So it's hard. The boys have played obviously 2 games in 3 days. They probably are feeling a little bit of fatigue, but can rest up now until training Thursday, a little bit of recovery session, and then obviously onto Oxford on Saturday on the 3G. So we'll look forward to that with a couple of faces back.
Obviously we've touched off camera. You're pretty pleased with the 1-1 draw, but obviously 7 points from the opening 3 against 3 teams that all pose different threats, very difficult teams to set up and play against. And how pleased are you? Only 1 goal conceded in those 3 as well, and 2 from Ricky Modeste as well.
Yeah, I mean Rick's Rick. He's a great character. He's a great player. He's a real good leader on the pitch for us as well. Offers that bit of experience. I think it was excellent again tonight. He runs himself into the ground for the team, the one bit of quality, a switch from Deshaun, who I thought was superb tonight. Deshaun's coming in and he's really grown into the game over the last couple of weeks. But Deshaun picked up the ball and hit a great dive to Lewis. Fantastic first touch, I must say, from the kid. And his drive and isolated the fullback back to Blackman, I think it was, into the box, and a great delivery. And Ricky does what Ricky does, and he's somehow done some bit of magic that's flicked it in for defenders' legs and in the bottom corner. So, I think it was absolutely just deserved. We started to change the formation just before that to try and create a bit more space in the wider positions, sort of try and overload the wider areas. And it was good to see that actually worked and benefited us for the goal. So, I'm delighted for the boys. As I say, they've been challenged more than most should be already 3 games into the season. So, as you say, to be on 7 points, I'm totally and utterly delighted for the group.
Yeah, and obviously we touched on difficulties on Saturday, but how pleased were you then with maybe the mental difficulties that have been around the group? I know it's obviously been a highly emotional couple of weeks for us, and as you'd imagine so, but also for them to play 2 back-to-back 90 minutes for a lot of those lads. There's a lot of tired legs in there as well, isn't there? The physicality and mentality of this squad over the last 2 games has just been something you wouldn't expect from a non-league team, isn't it?
No, I think it's been fantastic, mate. I think credit to us as a management team. I will say that. I mean, it's very it's important that that our Pat, Shippo and Greeny and Abbey and Leachy, that we are very much in it together. And James, sorry, and the new goalkeeping coach James. We really are in it together, and everyone's there fighting for each other no matter what happens. And we have really got a real good harmony within the group. We've got a real good bunch. Everyone, as you see, everyone fights for everyone. We've got a real passion and desire to want to progress and want to win football matches. I'm sure, I just said to the group there, I'm sure the first 3 games that we played this year, we would have lost all 3 last year. That's how I feel, how much the group has improved. I think we've shown a real backbone, a real bit of grit. And the boys need to take the credit for that on that front. It's all right for us to set up and say what we like and talk the words, but they go out there and walk the walk. And they've been fantastic. I've got to say, as I say, and with boys coming back now, I really think we've got a group that could do something really good this year. And
it must be obviously finally, I keep on coming to my head as you're talking, but as you've mentioned, players coming back. Hopefully this weekend we should see the return of Pollock and Louis.
Yeah, I think I'm touch and go on them too, but Greeny's certainly back. Yeah. Spoke to Blackie today as well. Had a little update with him. I know he's looking to get back as well, which is great. We will obviously, we'll back Blackie with any decision he wants to make. But I think having spoken to him today, he knows football's a bit of a release for him. So I'm sure Blackman will be back in a shirt in the next couple of weeks, as things stand. And then, as you say, it's a case of Louis and Pollock trying to shake off their little niggles. But I've got no qualms. I mean, the boys that have played, they're earning their shirt. So it's going to be very hard for me to change things at the moment. So long may it continue.
And then on to Saturday, Oxford away, a team that was in the playoffs last season. Yeah. Last season I think we played them on the second day of the season. It was an eventful 3-3 draw. And what are you expecting from that one?
Yeah, I think Oxford. Yeah, obviously on the 3G they're going to look to play. I think they're going to, they've done really well to get in the playoffs last year. Fantastic achievement. I think there's good expectations there at the club this year as well. So I'd expect them to be in and around it. But again, we'll go there with respect but no fear. So looking forward to turning up and putting on another good performance. And if we can show, as I say, the grit and resilience and determination, application that we've shown in the first 3 games, then it should be a good game. I just hope the boys just keep this momentum up and just keep the focus on the job at hand.
Perfect. Searchy, we will leave it there. Thank you. We'll let you probably go get a well-earned Guinness.
That's correct.
Cheers.